always taking flight, never think of consequences. Fuck my enemies, leave them leaking my intentions. This that hood life, the life is what I'm living. This that hood life.
Everyone for joining us on another episode of Two Beans in a Pod. My name is Erica, and I'm here joined with my co-host Downer.
What up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing good.
This is episode 19, and we're continuing on with the whole topic of what's going on in the world today, and specifically the things that affect us. And this episode will be touching on what we did in Adelanto and the other things that are currently going to be taking place, for protests and marches. We're going to cover what the different things that we have, the different places that we have been to, what we're contributing to, what we're being involved with, and different things like that. So.
Exactly, I think it's just important, just because, there's far more than just the police brutality that's going on and things like that. So, we're trying to touch bases on all of it. We're trying to let everybody know, what we think, our opinions, There's just so much going on. And then there's so much, back and forth shit, too. I was just thinking about that, So we'll touch bases on a lot of things, But, we're just right here trying to bring you guys at least some good information. We try to give you guys as much facts as we can. We don't try to, provide or just, send things out or speak on things that we really don't know of, of course, we don't know everything. So there is some stuff that, we will tell you to, research yourself, make sure we're correct, you're correct, things like that. But, yeah, so that's what we're on here doing. We appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Again, we are going to be talking about the continued protests and other things that are coming in regards to, other stuff that comes out, like the ICE Detention Center, the continued police brutality that's still going down. People are still getting fucking, harassed and killed. What is your opinion? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So we're just going to be touching base on a lot of things. And we hope we could get some interaction in here and get this topic going as far as at least for our own people. So thank you guys for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? And what would you like to start off with?
So I think the first thing, the latest thing, on the last episode we were talking about the Black Lives Matter and how that pertains to us and whether we should be feeling like we're being not counted and things like that because of how people were saying about all lives matter instead of the Black Lives Matter or whatever, right? So we ended up getting informed about some events that were going on. And so we were like, okay, we gotta walk the talk, and so let's find out what's going on and let's get involved because we did advocate for, hey, if you want something done, do it yourself. Right. But, organizing something yourself does take time. It does, require a lot of, effort and stuff. And so we were kind of like, if there was nothing that we can get involved with and join with, then we were going to get ready to start our own thing. But we did some research and stuff, and people were posting flyers and stuff. And so there was this one thing that really brought our attention. It was the Adelanto one. Because I think there was this past Sunday, there were other protests and things like that going on. But I wanted to attend the Adelanto one because we actually marched directly to the ICE facility. Right. But there was also a march in LA to the immigration building, the where they hold all the trials and all that, the immigration court building. And then there was a police brutality march also on Hollywood and Vine, which I heard did well too. Right. But so there was those three things that were going on. There was two of them were for ICE and immigration, and then there was that huge one that was for police brutality. Right. And so I ended up hitting the one with the in Adelanto.
Right.
And that march was pretty dope. A lot of people did show up. I think we had over 2,000, yeah, over 2,000 or close to 2,000 people in attendance. And from what I understood, it was a 2-mile march from the beginning location until we got to the ICE detention center. I took my daughter with me. She's 24, and it was the first time that she went to a protest of that nature, any protest, I believe. And so that was an experience. The protest started peaceful, and then there was some people that were really emotional, that were more, I guess, I don't want to just say that they were emotional, because I think that it is needed. We were going to walk into the facility. I think that what they were trying to do is walk into the ICE detention center facility as a group, to ask questions. And, they have like the sliding doors to go in, because there's people that go and visit and ask questions, inquire, right? So there's like a sliding door going in. And so when people were going to march into to get into the sliding door, the protesters, to get into the sliding door, they actually, the people saw that the crowd was coming, and they closed the doors on the protesters. So that made the protesters upset or whatnot. And so what's up, can get right. So that made the protesters upset, and they started, pounding on the doors, and then other people started, hitting the windows and breaking down stuff. And then the sheriff helicopter came up, and they started threatening the raza and saying, you're on private property, and you need to get out. And things like that, and so the raza was like, what the fuck? What do you mean we're on private property? Like, this is our country, you're on our land, you're on private property. And so some of the raza was like, no, we're not getting off, you know what I'm saying? And then there's some people that were actually getting information and saying, hey, you know what, they're just scaring us. And this is not private property. The parking lot is actually private property. So that's why visitors could come in and park and whatever. So they were like, it's okay. Come on to the parking lot. We could protest here at their door, because if you walked out of the parking lot onto the street, even through the glass doors, they couldn't really see you. They're chilling, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really effective, right? But it was a combination of people who were in fear of really getting heavy and really getting out there, and people who were like really upset and breaking out car windows, windshields of the people that work there and things like that. Feliz got really into it too, and she started really being radical in her protest and stuff.
Feliz is our daughter.
Their 24-year-old our daughter who joined me. And she got, some pepper spray in her face. And when we left, I think we were there for like almost 2 hours, and we were tired, exhausted from, chanting and everything, and the two-mile walk, and it was hot as fuck, And so I was like with Feliz, and I was like, hey, so like, are you ready? And she was like, yeah, let's go. And she had like, she had milk of magnesium all dried up in her hair and everything, because in case you guys don't know, in a protest, that's the thing. If you get pepper spray on your face or whatever, milk of magnesium is what helps. And so people were prepared there, and, for things like that. And so that was good. They were giving out little bags with milk and water and first aid kits, like little tiny first aid kits with band-aids and stuff. When we were leaving and we were ready to go, the people who were staying, the large amount of the group had left, but the people who were staying were gonna be the more radical ones, I noticed, because they were starting to bring like first aid kits and things like that to prepare, for kind of battle. So it was interesting. It was a really good experience. And yeah, it was interesting, to experience. I heard that the turnout for the police brutality, protest on Hollywood and Vine in LA was an excellent turnout. I heard that was like 20,000 people that turned out to that. So that was cool.
I think that like what a lot of people don't I guess like realize, right? Because people, tend to be like, I can't believe, like, with the riot stuff going on right now, right? People like get mad because somebody like gets emotional, and sometimes when you get emotional, I mean, you do things out of character or things aren't right. But you gotta understand, like, what if that person that's like really, in their feelings about shit or something, like, has a family member that was affected, they're gonna feel different than we are. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we're gonna feel like some type of like emotion and oh my God, our people, But you gotta understand, like, you gotta think about it. Say your uncle got shot by a hura, by one of these pigs, right? And then you're out there protesting, and just shit gets, sometimes your emotions get caught up, and oh shit, and there goes the rock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that
I think that's what it was. Like you would see, like you saw a lot of the people that were getting really radical. Like they even had like tears in their eyes. They were like literally, like it got to the point, and we were literally like front line. Like we were like the first people to get anything. If they were gonna be shooting any kind of freaking rubber bullets or anything, we were gonna be the ones receiving it, right? And it was like you could see like they were so emotional, like they were like free our kids, like our families, and literally like almost in tears, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
what I'm saying,
and so
you know,
it
like-
gets like really like there's people that really had families. Oh, that was another thing that we experienced. There was a lady there who her husband was in the detention center, and she actually got her husband on face, like a FaceTime or whatever video, and he was saying that he was hearing our chants from in there, that inmates, that not, I don't want to call them inmates because that's not what they are, that the people that they had detained,
That's what the
no,
fuck
they're
they
not
are.
prisoners
That's how
though,
they're keeping them, for real.
who they have
Even
detained.
worse than prisoners, shit.
That the
At least
detainees
these
were
prisoners
hearing.
got beds and shit. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
fucked up. Yeah. And
That's
so
what I mean. Like, you know what I mean? Those are the saying. Like, you gotta think about all those things. So sometimes when people are out there, like, I can't believe people are doing this or doing that, or like, you know what? Right now, I know there's this thing going on Instagram where these white dudes that are like for Donald Trump, they're like having a knee on some food, and they're like watching people go by. You know what I mean? And it's like, how do you think that that's not gonna pump somebody up? You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta think about it, right? It's like as us as Latinos, it's like when people be like, "Yo, mama, fool." As soon as you hear that, it's like, "Fool, what? Yo, mama, what?" Like, so it's just like you gotta understand. You know what I'm saying? And you can't be, you can't judge them. You know what I'm saying? And at better, I think it's better if you kind of try to redirect them, or you know what, de-escalate the issue. Like, there's all kinds of things you could do other than be like, "Oh my God," and get louder, or try to stop them, or like you gotta understand that
people are emotional.
people are emotional.
Yeah, it
People
is.
have gone through so much shit. So I'm sorry that you feel that people shouldn't be destroying shit. Or, well, do you think their family members should have been killed? No. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you gotta, it's give and give, and with all this,
It's understanding, it's having
it's
empathy.
a protest.
It's about having empathy
and-
about with these people that are feeling like that and so
Yeah.
upset. Like this lady said, that I was saying about the lady with that we were FaceTiming with her husband or whatever. She said her husband has been in this detention center for 10 months. He has an underlying condition, right? 10 months, has an underlying condition, and has no criminal. He didn't get detained because he got caught in criminal activity. You know what I'm saying? He just got pulled over, and then happened to figure out that he didn't have any documentation. So like he wasn't committing any crime. You know what I'm saying? And he's been detained for 10 months without having had committed any crime. He doesn't have a criminal record. Him and his wife have a Christian radio show for kids. You know what I'm saying? He has underlying conditions, and at the detention center, they're not providing them with any masks or anything like that, but they are spraying them with disinfectants and things like that, so, and there's COVID, and there are COVID cases there, that are, and so, no masks, underlying conditions. You know what? I was thinking about the FaceTime. Hi, primo. The Facebook. Last week we were on Facebook, primo, and we weren't able to see any of your comments. Like right now, I can't see any comments until after we got off. And then we were like, oh, look, he was commenting. So I don't know if you're saying something, Primo, but maybe you could click on something to see if we could see his comments, if anything.
I'll check it. My bad.
Yeah. Cause
thank you guys, everybody that's tuning in.
Yes.
You know, remember, we're trying to keep our raza informed and, you know, what we're doing and things like that. You know, right now we're speaking in specific where Erica and my daughter, they went to the ICE Detention Center here in Adelanto, you know what I mean, like the main hub here in Cali. So, you know, that's what we're talking about and the issues there and, you know, them not having blankets or, you know, beds and they have the COVID-19 and they're being sprayed, all this other shit, you know, they were there. So
with
that's
no
what she's
mask.
Talking to you guys about, you know, and her experience, you know. And from what I saw, you know, the little clips that I saw myself, you know, was like, damn, you know.
What did it look like? Yeah, from the outside looking in, what did it look like to you?
From the outside, like, in reality, like, because we seen just, like, a couple of videos and stuff, it was just, like, it seemed like a little bit of people. Like, you know, until you told me, like, oh, shit, it was a bunch more.
It was close to 2,000 people,
you know,
yeah.
it was, like, it seemed like, honestly, I was like, where the fuck's everybody at? I asked you.
There was some artists like Drummer Boy and Swifty Blue that I heard attended. I didn't see them, but I heard that they attended.
Well, yeah, I know, like, Clever went también.
Oh, from the Brown side. The Brown side team also attended.
The Outlaws went, like, Young Outlaws, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? There was people there, you know what I'm saying? Fucking Nat King was there, Deja was there, Shooter Rick was there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there was people there, you know what I mean? And it's like,
it was well attended.
I think it's dope, you know what I mean? The people that showed up and represented and did their thing, you know what I'm saying? I think that's dope, you know what I mean? Like, I wish I could have went, you know what I mean? But I can't. I'm not trying to be around those places, you know what I mean? And just me, you know what I mean? But I think it's important for us to give advice and let our people know, like, things that are going on in our, you know, community or around us or and things like that, keeping each other informed, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's about, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what she was doing on the weekend. And like I said, you know, I didn't realize there was that many people, you know, but the people that did win, hey man, salute you guys. You know, you guys are dope. You know, you guys are the shit. No matter what went down, you guys were there. Other people weren't. And the people that didn't make it, hey, they didn't make it. You know what I mean? Don't be like a dick about it. You know what I mean?
So for those that didn't make it, though, there are other opportunities. And some people are like, well, freaking Adelanto's hella far, you know? Yeah. And so for those who couldn't, there are other opportunities for you to join in. And if you want to get involved and so that you don't be on social media looking like a freaking dumbass, like a dumb fart. And, you know, talking shit, but ain't fucking doing shit either. Right?
I think it's just like, I think it's dumb when we're talking masa to each other, like, you know, you're not here, or I don't see our people doing this. Like, you know what? Like, what's the point of it? Like, straight up, like, okay, so we know you pointed out, I didn't go over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares about that? You know what I mean? That's the least of our issues right now. What one person is doing and the other person isn't is what we need to do together as a unit, together as a community, black, brown, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is tired of police brutality. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't just affect me. It doesn't affect, you know, my kids. It doesn't just affect you, the watchers. It doesn't just affect white people. It affects everybody. You know what I mean? But yes, black people, brown people, people of color do get the biggest wrath, and black people, you know, catch the end of the stick of that shit. You know what I mean? The bad end of that shit. You know what I mean? And those are facts. The short end. You know what I mean? My bad. You know, and those are just facts. You know what I mean? You could sit here and you could boo-hoo and you could cry and you could.
But it's like it's freaking raza too. So I remember. I think this brings me back. It always brings me back the police brutality and like the detention centers and the COs and you know how they fuck up and all that too, right? Like it brings me back to the I think it was the first time I went to. The first time I went to county, and when we were getting released, I was getting released with this girl who didn't have any documentation, and we had gotten booked the same day. And when she had gotten booked, she told me like her whole story, and it was like that you know her boyfriend had beat her but she had kind of scratched him and gotten for domestic violence too. And so when we were getting released, we were there for a few weeks or whatever. And when we were getting released, we ended up getting released together. And when we were getting released, I remember we were getting out, like we're already out, like to where like, okay, fuck this, you're out. Like you could just out the building, out the door, right? Like officially out. And she was, and when you walk out the door, there's this like balcony. You could walk out to this like balcony and look at the view in LA. I'm talking about the Twin Towers. I was at the Twin Towers when the Twin Towers had the women's section. I don't think they have it anymore. I don't know. But anyways, so and I look out to the balcony and I'm like, fucking hell yeah, with my fucking property ready to fucking just bounce. Like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, the way they used to fucking let us out to be fuckers, right? And so I look out into the balcony and I see homegirl with 2 COs, right? And I was like, what is she doing out in the balcony with these 2 COs? And when she got booked, when you get released, you get released in the same clothes that you got booked in, right? Yeah. When she got booked, she literally got booked in her husband's going out shoes. So they were like 3 sizes too big, right? In his boxers and a tank top. Right? So when she got released, she was in some boxers, a tank top, and her boyfriend's shoes. That's what she gets released in. So, and I'm like, what the heck is she doing out there in the balcony with these COs? And she spots me and she's like waving. She's like, come here, and I'm like, what the fuck? And the COs like see that I'm like looking and they're like, oh, go ahead. Like I see them tell her like, go ahead, And I'm like waiting for her. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking go over there. What the fuck? Like, hell nah. I'm getting ready to fucking go home. So I was like, what the fuck? So she fucking comes up and she comes up to me and like crying and shit, like hugs me and shit. She's like, they said I could go. And she's like, they said that the migras out there waiting for me. And I was like, what? Yeah. So they were claiming that they were trying to help her out and help her keep her away because the mira was downstairs waiting, and so they were trying to keep her, and they were like, oh well, but let me see what you got. You have any identifying tattoos? Lift up your shirt, pull down your boxers to see if you have anything, and like all this stuff that they were like asking her to fucking do, right? But when they saw me, they're like, go ahead and go. So they were like, and I'm like, I went outside to try and see if my ride was outside. It's 3-4 o'clock in the morning, so I came right back up because it was like shady, right? And I was like, there is no fucking migra van outside, homegirl. Like, and I'm like, come on, let's go. And they were like, what did she say? They came out. What is she telling you? I'm like, she didn't say shit, fool. Like, she didn't say shit. Like, let's go. But that's part of the whole police brutality and shit like that we be fucking talking about. What we're fighting for, you know what I'm saying? That's why when they're like, oh, what the fuck are you jumping on the Black Lives Matter bandwagon? You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, we need to, you know what I'm saying? Because we go through this shit too. You know what I'm saying? La raza, they take advantage of us like that because of shit like that, Yeah.
And this goes to like some of you dudes that are like, look, whatever your whole agenda is that we don't know, because we don't know what you're thinking, is it kind of hits different when you don't when we don't know it and you're just speaking, right? And you're saying all this and that, and then like today, right? I had to go on Scoop TV thing, again, because he posts up this thing and talks about this guy from Texas that got choked out, all this shit, whatever, right? By the Juras, right? That was 5 years ago. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, is it fucked up that the dude went through it? Fuck yes. Hell yeah. But what were you 5 years ago? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mean. It's like,
I get it's kind of like double-edged, yeah.
The stuff you guys are posting, and you guys are trying to portray to be like, oh, but ain't nobody talking about this dude. Ain't nobody talking about... It's about stuff that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense as yes, it might have some role to play in this, but it doesn't make sense in the fact that you're trying to bring it up like this just happened yesterday and no one's saying anything about it. Do you get what I'm saying? Those are the things. You know what I mean? It's like I don't hear nobody, like, it's funny, right? I don't hear nobody out there till this day, right now, still talking about Vanessa Guillen. It's been 3 months almost. It's going on 3 months. No one saying shit. No one bringing it up. None of you news people that be out there with the whole, like, talking about you guys are presenting news, haven't said shit. You know what I mean? So do
you want to talk about it?
So, those are things that, let's talk about things that are happening right now that just happened. Even if it was a week or 2 weeks ago. But let's not talk about things that happened 3-4 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. It's double-edged sword, because I think that it is important to show that this is something that has been going on. You know what I'm saying? I think it is important for us to show that, but to some degree, I think that it's important for you to also acknowledge and say, this is a post from, this back ago. I'm doing this to show that it's been historically. It's not something recent. It's not, you know what I mean? If that's what you're doing, but if you're doing because one, you think it's something that's current and you're ill-informed or something like that, then don't do that. You know what I'm saying? If they think that it's current and things like that, like check your information, check what you're providing to everybody, What's up, Bella? And so check your information. Don't just be providing, say what you're doing, what the purpose of your post is. Don't just be inciting people. You know what I'm saying?
And the reason I say that is because, look, I'm the type of motherfucker that when I see something, I'm going to research it, So if you post something up and then I see that it's 3 years old, I believe all you're trying to do is start some shit. You're trying to bring up something and get somebody riled up to say something about something. And it ain't cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should have been at that moment, at that time, fighting for it. You know what I'm saying? I always, anything that I do, I don't care what anyone says. Erica's here to prove it, and she knows how I am, All day, every day, I'm on the same shit. Fuck police. Fuck the way all these conspiracies are. Fuck all this. I'm always on something. You know what I mean? I don't trust the government. I don't do this. I don't go by what they say. I don't trust all media things. She taught me that. Don't trust all the media and how to investigate their asses and see what their agendas are, because sometimes they're pushing for certain things, So, of course, they're going to post up certain stuff, So, I'm just saying, with things like that is I think that, please, I'm just asking, please, don't misinform the community by posting up something that they even might start thinking that it just happened yesterday and no one's saying nothing. And then you have people, saying things about other people, you know what I mean? Oh, dude, but you're over there. And, I'm not with that shit.
So do you want to go into that whole issue with the girl that's missing?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We can, so
yeah.
So this is one of the subjects that I'm saying, you know what I mean, that I posted up. It was Vanessa Guillen. She's been missing. It's going on about 3 months, Her mother was, from what I understand, the little things that I see from the mother, she was close to her. It wasn't like the female was on some bullshit or nothing. She was on base. She actually was for the government. You know what I mean? So she was on base, which was Fort Hood.
She was Army?
Yeah, it was
Army?
Yeah, it was at Fort Hood on base in Texas, and she was on post. Okay? So it's not like she was visiting or she went and came or nothing. No, she was on post doing her duty.
She was on duty.
On duty, and she disappeared from her post. Right? And
I haven't followed up on that story.
And from what I understand, the mom, and people have been questioning them, like, what the fuck? Where's my daughter? What's going down? You know what I mean? Things like that, right? That's where people should be. So the people in Texas, you guys need to be over there fighting for that female, you know what I mean? As Latinos, let's get some answers. Where is this lady? Do you get what I'm saying? And this takes me back to, and this takes me back to another, but I want to stay on subject on the Vanessa Guillen. So Vanessa Guillen, right? She was on the post. She did this little walk. So the last thing that anybody knows anything of, and this is apparently from specific people in the military that are communicating with the mother, telling the mother that the last sighting they saw of her was in a parking lot. I don't know what she was doing in the parking lot. The mother doesn't know what she was doing in the parking lot, but she didn't come home. There's no video of the parking lot. There's no video of her leaving or going to the parking lot. As a matter of fact, from what the mother says, there's no video at all. So, who saw her? Did someone see her?
So let's bring awareness to that issue too.
Yeah,
so these are issues that we have within our raza that we need to bring awareness to.
And this is the military. This isn't just like the Huras.
She was the homie, he said, and she was assaulted by her sergeant. Are you saying that she was a sergeant previous to her disappearance?
Yeah, she was. That's what the mother was saying.
Oh.
That the mom was saying something about that. She spoke up and said something like,
So is her disappearing being questioned because maybe she reported it or something? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know about the issue.
mother, from what the mother said and what I heard, the mother doesn't have proof of her going to go complain about it, but she talked to her mother about it and was saying, "Hey, I got assaulted. You know, they're harassing me and they're doing this," and then all of a sudden she disappeared.
Oh.
So the mother's like, hey,
thinking it has something to do with that.
Yeah, and this goes back to other. This is not the first incident where a female is being harassed on a base, whether she was working there or not. Sometimes they're just the whites, you know, and some shit happens. You know what I'm saying? And this is not even the you want to talk about a African American one? That too. There was I forgot the African American female. But before we end, I'm gonna give you her name too. She went to
Breonna
a party.
Taylor.
The girl,
Breonna Taylor. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but I don't know the whole story on that.
That's
I was
party,
just
right?
I think so. This is just the one that let me see if it is. It's one that I was just researching on, and it was a black girl who the police were trying to say that her boyfriend had did something to her, and then they did some investigation, and it turned out that it was the police that were involved in something. Okay, maybe that's somebody else.
This is another one. The other one, the one I'm talking about, and I'll give you her name later. I'll research it. Give it to you is another thing, right? This has nothing to do with even military. This is a motherfucking party, adult party of some kids, and I forgot where it is. I'll give you all the information, like the city and the name of the female. It was an adult party. It was a black female, right? Check this out. Ended up missing, apparently, supposedly, for I don't know how many hours, and then they found her in the backyard, beat, bruised up, unconscious, dead, done, like, you know? And no one knows nothing about it. And then it turns out that during the party, she was having a little bit of issues and speaking with people about like certain shit, you know what I mean, politics and shit. And it turned out that she ended up getting into an issue with someone. So it's like that was fishy, right? Like no one knew, and then all of a sudden she's in the back house, found the next day in the morning. Do you know what I mean? And it's like what, you know? So these are things that we're talking about, right? It happens to black and it happens to brown. You know what I mean? So with that said, you know what I mean? Let's talk about, when we talk about, let's give all the information or as much as you have, so somebody could grab that and then look further into it, and then we could all fucking school each other.
Yeah, so if you see something like on social media that's like, oh my God, you feel like incites you, that you feel like you want to share, I suggest that you do some research on whatever that post is that you feel incited you or whatever. Do some research on that, and then do some research on it, and then go ahead and post and give your opinion on it, right?
Yep.
Primo, I was wondering what is happening in Mexico with the police and stuff. Like I had seen some stuff where there was like some police brutality issues going on over there too. Like I saw like they were putting like the police on fire and shit, like setting.
They turned the fucking almost turned some fool on fire over there in Mexico, like.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what's up with that. Do you
have any info on that?
That?
What's going down? Like,
yeah,
is the shit from George Floyd really sparking something out there, or is it more like we're just done with the shit too, like I keep saying, you know what I mean? Like, because I think that's what it boils down to, you know what I mean? Everybody's tired of the fucking bullshit with
the police brutality is like a worldwide thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just police brutality here. Like, that's why I think like a lot of people around the world are joining in with that whole thing, because it doesn't just happen in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? The police has way too much, power all over, right? Yeah. Like, so.
I mean, there's just so many. Like, I'll give you incidents like that have happened that like just in my own community, right? And things like, I'll give you an example. What's up, Kitty? I'll give you an example. Like my homie, fucking Wicked, got busted, right? He ended up in some shit. There was some shit that went down. There was a shooting. Boom, boom, boom. whatever, right? My homie takes off, right? A Hura that's not even on duty. He's not supposed to be on duty. His shift ended. Done. Go the fuck back to the police station, right? Was off duty on Hammond and fucking Raymond, and according to him, sees my homie driving down or doing some shit, and he just starts shooting at the car. And according to the officer, says that he was shooting out of the car. You know?
I know what you're talking about.
So it's like, what? Well, at the end of the day, rest in peace, you know what I'm saying? His baby mom, you know what I mean? They ended up killing his baby mom, the cops.
The Juras ended up blasting and killing his baby mama.
Yeah.
Who was in the car.
He got charged for it, but this fool that was off duty was randomly shooting it through from his car at a car that was coming down. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, how did that work?
And he got charged because...
And my homie's doing life. Like, he ain't coming out.
For his baby mama's death.
Yeah.
Who the cops shot while she was shooting a shotgun in his car, and he went to go pick her up.
Yeah. So it's
like there was some issues on the block.
That was some bullshit. I was like, what?
Yeah.
No one's like...
And that's like historically known where like they'll fuck up, and then what they'll do is they'll try to figure out a way to... do like the felony murder rule, or like, whatever it is. Like if you're with that person, then you're doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Though if you're in the process of committing a crime or something, and the police shoot somebody who's with you, you get charged for that crime because you were in the process of committing that crime with them. So it's your fault that the police shot them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, there's a lot of shit that needs to be changed. With that whole police brutality thing, I think that there's this one law that provides almost complete immunity to police officers. Yeah. If they prove or show that while they were enforcing the law, they acted in good faith, and they weren't like intentionally trying to like hurt, I guess you can say. Like it was you know what I'm saying? It's like crazy.
They did as much as they can.
Yeah.
But it's bullshit, because so this is what I think is weird. And,
some bullshit for real.
And some people don't understand,
What's up, everybody joining in? What's up, Bruno?
Is the even though there's laws, right? Like we all have laws, right? And like apparently we all assume my law, your law, everybody's law, we're all doing the same thing, right? Well, it doesn't. Some of those laws do not don't apply to the officers. They actually have a whole nother thing.
They have a whole handbook.
They have a handbook. I'm gonna bring it to you guys. I have it.
Yeah. So I've sat at like meetings with police teams, big police departments, because we were trained to do community intervention. So we've had the opportunity to sit with different police departments and go to different like community meetings where police departments are like speaking and stuff. And because of that, they actually gave us this little handbook that has specific laws to police officers, so that they know. They study this little handbook. It's like this little, they study this little handbook. We'll post it up.
I'll show it to you.
We'll post it up on our page later. But it's like how they can get away with things and laws that protect officers. So it teaches them how to be able to get away with certain things, right?
Yeah. So it's just crazy, right? It's like, and like we talked last night, I think Mando from IE, is on. Mando, Chino police would be on some bullshit.
Oh, fuck them fools.
Like,
them fools tased me.
Chino police.
Tased me in my door of my home, grabbed my son, who was 9 years old and 14 years old at the time, handcuffed them, put them on the curb. You know what I mean? All because Downer and I were arguing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, and it was just dumb, you know what I mean? Like, so my thing is just like...
The primo said that in Mexico, I'm sorry. He said that in Mexico it's the same shit, police brutality, but I really don't know how much about it. Oh, okay. But we were seeing some news, the news hype shit up, but we were seeing news that they were like setting police officers on fire, like in Mexico.
But we gotta remember this too. In Mexico, they don't give a fuck. These motherfucking cartel got shit. You know what I mean? They run the shit. So it's like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Officers are afraid to get like elected, or like right now, these fools are like, they're afraid to be like promoted and shit. Like hell no, fool. I don't want to be promoted. I don't want to be the chief. I don't want to be the sergeant. Like, cause they'll fucking cut your head off and send that shit to your family and be like, oh, here's your sergeant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So over there's a little different, but now the Huda over there gotta really fucking see what's up, because now the people are also being like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So not only do you got the crazy ass cartel doing their shit, but now you got the people being like, fuck that, we could start shit. Oh, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's just like, it's just, there's just so much things that happen in this world, and the way things go about things and the way things get dealt with that are crazy. Like, for example, just to go on now with, remember, everybody, please, if you guys could repost, promote the whole thing. Like, remember, we know this Vanessa again. If you guys got any info, if you guys know anything, I know it's in Texas, it's not here, but we got to support each other from here to there and all the way back and everywhere. So, you know what I mean? Now let's move on to the way officers are trained. I've seen so many posts where it's like, these fools do like 900 hours of some service, but a fucking manicure person that goes to college got to go to like 30,000 hours of training on how to do some nails, but these fools get 3,000 hours or 4 or whatever to like train on how to do shit, and it's like
how to deal with the community.
That's just some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, so there's just so much.
Jana was telling me this thing about the person who and I don't know, but the person who
Lieutenant David Grossman,
who's been contracted to train a lot of these police officers. I guess they use like his handbook for training or whatnot in throughout the nation. And he was telling me that he was military, an ex-military, and so I mean, how can that, right? How can you have an ex-military person come in and train community police? You know what I'm saying? They're not military, right? And so I was doing like some research on it, and I know the whole militarization of the police came about with the Bill Clinton and all that 3 strikes laws, and and it becomes political, and because politics plays a lot of it, and presidents want to get elected, so they're like, oh, tough on crime, and we're gonna put more tax money into protecting the communities, and they do all this stuff to hype up like there's so much fucking crime and that they're so tough on it, and that's how they get elected, right? Uh-huh. But so that's kind of like how the whole militarization of the police came about. But police in reality, from its inception, because I've done some history on it, when they first started coming and they were just walking around, literally they were walking around with just like little billy clubs, freaking, and it's the same people from the same community.
In the UK,
they still do it like that?
Yeah, they don't have guns.
Yeah.
In Europe, some places in Europe, they don't have guns. Mm-hmm. So
I think that's what it should be. And I get that some people here have guns, and that's why they're like, oh, we're protecting ourselves. But it's not really like that much of an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, where it's like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I just don't think that they should be like trained like military.
No, I think not only
so the defunding the police is something that I'm for. I've been seeing a lot of hashtags for defund the police. That's something that I'm for. If you defund them and you take away tax money and you start like a whole, you know what I'm saying, then they'll start thinking twice about what the fuck, you know what I'm saying?
And then you gotta remember, your local mayor runs the police. He has the ability to say, fuck you, you're all fired, get the fuck out of here. Or I'm doing, and I could just I could be exaggerating, but because I don't know exactly, like,
well, there's processes. He can't just say you're fired or out today. There's a process to everything.
Pretty much, the mayor has the last say in the police department, like what they're doing, how they're doing things, what they're doing. He's informed of it. Like, they inform him, like, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. There's a bridge, there's a connection. You know what I'm saying? And you got to go to that motherfucker.
Yeah, if we're not involved, I mean, we can't be. There's so many facets to this whole situation. I mean, it's about being out there and protesting. It's about providing accurate information. It's about getting accurate information. It's about going out there and voting. So I mean, it's multifaceted. You can't just say I'm gonna go out there and protest one day and things are gonna change. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
It's I gotta get information. I gotta get educated. I gotta figure out how these police are funded. I gotta go out there and register to vote, and I gotta really do research on the things that I'm voting for, instead of like, oh, what do you think? What do you think? Oh, that's what it is. And this person, like I said, might be ill-informed or informed wrongfully, and then you're just basing what you're doing based on what they're. So just do some research. If you need help doing research, don't be afraid to reach out. I'm always like, if you don't understand something, I had a couple of homegirls that when we were doing like the podcast for impeachment, that were like, hit me up and afterwards, and we're like, you know what, I felt so dumb during that whole podcast because I don't understand impeachment. I don't understand the whole voting process.
Stop saying that.
I don't understand they don't understand the voting process. They don't understand the electoral college. They don't understand that there's primary elections. You know what I'm saying? So reach out. Go ahead and reach out. Don't be intimidated. Reach out to somebody that you feel comfortable with.
I'm telling you right now.
He's always asking me, and instead of saying like, oh, I know this or that, he's always asking me, and me, I would be the first to tell you if I don't know. I'd be like, fool, I don't know. I'm not just gonna. And he gets mad at me because he's like, how the fuck do you not know that? You know, and I'm like, well, I really don't know. I'll say it. I don't know, and we'll look it up or something.
And to me, the reason because she's right. The reason is because I used to be like that when I was younger. I used to just lash out.
What's up, Finn?
You know, I used to fucking lash out. You know what I mean? Not give a fuck. You know. And she used to be like, damn fool, like, why are you lashing out like that? What you tripping out on? You don't even have all the info. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But it's because that's how we were raised, right? We were raised to not give a fuck. Let's worry about the problems after. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm trying to be like, hey, you know, as soon as I hear something, Erica.
Is this true?
He's
like fact checking.
I don't know, but go look it up. And I'm just like, fuck, I gotta go look it up.
He wants me to have the answer so he doesn't have to go look shit up. Like, what the fuck?
You know, and so those are the things. You know what I mean? Like, look, I'll give you a perfect example of shit you could do in your community that you have no fucking clue on. Councilman. That's something. Like, you do something. You have a district.
You represent a certain area.
And you do that, right?
In your city.
In Pasadena. I don't know everywhere else. But I'm just saying in Pasadena. All you need is like a fucking 1,000 votes.
Okay, and so it's proportionate. This whole thing is proportionate. So every city, if you want to run for like council member, who represents, the council member represents a certain area in your city, right? And then they go and they have community meetings, and they kind of like reach out to the mayor. They're kind of under the mayor, so they give information to the mayor about the different areas in the community, and their community. In my community, this is what we need. This is what the people are saying, right? Mm-hmm. So in different communities, if your community is small, you need even less votes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
like, I'm trying to pump up Rome and shit. You know what I'm saying, from the road dogs, because that fool's from Inglewood. Knows a lot of motherfuckers in Inglewood, and they like told this fool you should run for councilman. This fool didn't do it. Like.
I'm like, why? I didn't even think about that, but that's a really good idea.
It's because he's busy.
Rome is really like
he goes, I'm busy,
vocal.
Fool, you know? But
that's not a good excuse. That's not a good excuse.
We're going to get you there, Rome. We're going to get you there. Because I do all kinds of other shit. Sometimes you guys might think like...
sometimes you think like I'm too busy for something, and you're not. And you're not, you know?
But, and you know what? It's not only that. It's like... That's a big step, right? Like,
it's scary.
Like, it's kind of like intimidating. It's like, what are you gonna do? Like, like, if I was there, I'd be like, fuck it. I'll be on the phone with Erica. She on speed dial, fool. You better have your phone all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, you know, we have that opportunity. We have these kids out here. We have smart motherfucking kids. We have smart motherfuckers. You know what I mean? That's like, let's teach them. You know what I mean? Be a councilman. Be a fucking representative in your town. You know what I'm saying? Be like, it's not just being the president. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, there's so much things you could do.
You could start in your community.
So
Yeah,
much.
you could start little.
You could start like something, build like even just like a foundation,
a nonprofit,
you know what I mean? Like and all that. And look, I know like because I told Erica like I don't really want to be talking about my gang shit too much on this bullshit no more, you know. But what I do want to say is this: all the energy we put into gangbanging. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if we put that same energy into doing something like this and pumping out motherfuckers to be like, hey, fool, go be a fucking boxer. Go be a fucking mayor. Go be a fucking councilman. Go be a fucking lawyer. Go be a fucking, like, bro, we'll fucking knock it out the park. We'll be fucking, like, we'll be like, boom.
And I get it. A lot of times we're kind of like stuck in our situations because we're like, okay, we're working 9 to 5s and we're trying to pay bills. It's expensive to live here, especially in California, you know what I'm saying? In LA, it's expensive. So a lot of times people are like, you know what, I'm too busy you know, trying to pay bills, you know what I'm saying, than to be able to.
I'm one of them. I'll tell you that shit too. Mm-hmm. I'm like that, you know? But we could do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to pump up Erica, and I'm telling you, before we die here, she's going to be a councilman here. As a matter of fact, we're going to step that shit up, and she's going to be a mayor. She's going to be the mayor. I promise you, before I die, that's my goal. Before I die, Erica Munoz is going to be the mayor of Pasadena. I'm telling you. And this is why. This is the thing that some of you men don't realize. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, this and that. You guys can say whatever the fuck you want. Women think, I guess, more logical or more, just the way they think is different than men. You know? So we need these women up in higher positions. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not, sometimes they know how to take the emotion out. Or they know how to take the friendship out. And we don't. Straight up. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. We can see it. We see it right now. With the Epstein shit and all this other bullshit. Like, all these upper elite males do not know how to fucking act. You know what I'm saying? So when we have some of these females, it's gonna be a balance.
I think that's what I think we need.
There's gonna be a balance where it's like, oh, okay, we might be here and we might be there, but we're almost right here. You know what I'm saying? And it's a fact. Those are facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna give it to you like this: in a house, right? In a household, right? Like when I was here and we're doing our shit and we're married and all that, like Erica held me down, like. She had my food when she was cooking. She had my, like, hey, fool, you gotta go do this. You gotta go, like, she held it down. You know what I'm saying? She did her part, and I did my part, and then I just abused it, and all kinds of shit went bad. But that's the way it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a team effort. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Like, if
males
we're in the
and
world,
females, and if we all do this shit together, you know what I'm saying? And stop fucking dogging out these females. You know what I'm saying? That. I'm sorry, but none of you males could be born without them. So if we do it all in like how do you say that shit? Well, unison. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We do it in unison. Like all this shit's gonna play out right. I'm telling you, all this shit that we've been dealing with all this time. Like I keep telling Erica, why are we here? I keep telling her, why are we here? What are we doing here? I get frustrated. You know what I mean?
He's always trying to find his purpose of life and why he's here. That's what he's talking about. Not like
I don't know. I still don't know it. But we're here for something. You know what I'm saying? So put in that work. Do that shit you need to do. And I'm telling you, you know
it's continuing. Yeah, continue. Don't give up, you guys. I know it's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world, and we need this change. It's just like I said, you're not going to go to one protest and think that things are going to change. You're not going to post like one real post and provide information for 1 week and then things are going to change. The system has been developed. I mean, for how long, right? Like for how long has the United States been in existence. And so in order for us to create change, I mean, it's not going to happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? The system was not developed overnight. You know what I mean? The prison system was not created overnight. So in order for us to break those down.
Yeah, they were creating prisons before there was fucking prisoners.
They were thinking about the power to profit with the prisons, and because to take away the slavery, since they had abolished slavery. How can we still get free labor? And this is how they did this whole abolishment of slavery. If you look at the 13th Amendment, it says that people are free, and there's no slavery, with the exception if you're convicted of a crime. And so that's why technically there's the prisoners are slaves, and that's why they make carpets, and they make license plates, and they make Victoria's Secrets, and they make because that's slave, right? Yeah. But the 13th Amendment allows for that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's everything that they give us. If you're thinking about it, when we're fighting for stuff, they're giving us certain things, but there's the small print. You know what I'm saying? And we're settling for shit. And I think that it's important for us, if we want to keep moving forward, when we're looking at some things and then they're offering certain things to eliminate racism and to make things more equal, with amongst the races and the different populations. There's always fine print. You know what I'm saying? That's like, okay, we're going to do this, but we need to eliminate that fucking fine print. Yeah, and we need to not settle. Don't say, okay, this is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it needs to be completely equal. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to be overnight.
Exactly. And for example, I'm going to give you a good one for us raza, Latinos, whatever, Hispanics, whatever you want to call yourself.
Mexicanos.
I'm going to give it to you like this. Even though I don't agree with the fucker, and I'm going to say fucker, I'm going to fuck what y'all say. Cesar Chavez, right? Fought for all the for rights for immigration, people that were doing how would you say, cultivation or
the farmers,
right? Although
pickers, when they were
he was fighting for that, right? Till this day, right now, farmers are still having problems. Where the fuck do you think you get your avocados from? Where do you think you get your rábanos from? Where do you think you get your onions and your fucking cabbage and your fucking farm workers? You know what I'm saying? And they're still, right now, they don't even have N95 masks. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, you guys gotta really open up your mind to know and deal with certain shit where till this day we're still dealing with drama and bullshit. Do you know what I'm saying? And people have fought for it. Like, even though I don't see eye to eye with Cesar Chavez.
Why?
And the reason why is because he said wetbacks and beaners.
He used that. So he tried to separate himself.
He tried to separate himself from wetbacks and beaners. Mm-hmm. So, I'm sorry.
Because he was a Chicano.
For all you dudes that want to be
so this is where the Chicano thing came from.
And all you Chicanos that want to be all that, educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm a Mexicano. I was born in Mexico. I came here illegally and got my shit right. But people like Cesar Chavez were like, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here, you illegal fuck. And this and that. He was with that shit. So, don't play me. I'll show you videos of this fool saying wet bags and beaners.
But you were saying that you were still, even though he said that, what?
So, even though he said all that and he did all that, he was fighting for people's rights here, right? So, because he was fighting for those rights here and stuff like that, what happened? Where's all that rights? Where are those rights at he was fighting for? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he put in a big ass fight. Like, LA has a street under this vato. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but they don't have no, that, you know what I mean? So, just be informed. know that someone was fighting for them, for farmers. And what happened?
It's kind of like it's like the stopping. It's
Yes.
kind of like how I'm saying. It's not going to happen overnight. We can't be just like, okay, we're going to go to one protest or we're going to, post for 1 week and things are going to happen. We're going to have to keep consistent with going there. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Be consistent.
Like
So
this
with
protest.
with being consistent, let's provide you with the information of what's coming up, because we're coming up on an hour on our thing, and we always want to, respect everybody's time. So we have been saying that we want to keep it down to an hour. So
I have one more important thing.
hold on a second, let me give them the information
Go
about
ahead.
the information for the things that are coming up is on this Sunday. This Sunday there's gonna be a protest, a marcha. Did you put it on your page?
I did, but it's already gone.
On Downer, I don't have the flyer.
I did it on my story, so my bad,
Oh.
But there is, like, if you go to a lot of people, I don't care who you go, Scoop, even though that fool fucking promotes some other shit.
I'm sorry, here it is. I'm sorry about that, you guys. Okay, so here's the information. So this
Alpha Shooter Rick.
Alpha Shooter Rick. Shout out
yes.
to Shooter Rick. The information is for this Sunday, March.
Show them right here.
Sunday, June 14th at 2.
Show
Give me a
them.
second, please.
Sorry.
Sunday, June 14th at 2 p.m. Starting from First Street Bridge. So that's at 150 North Myers Street in Los Angeles. And they're going to be connecting Boyle Heights to downtown LA, and they're marching to the LA City Hall. So LA City Hall, this Sunday, June 14th, starting at 2 p.m. and they're starting at the First Street Bridge at 2 p.m. This Sunday, June 14th, and that's for LA, and that's the Free Our Kids in Cages March. So yeah, for you guys can't really, so that's that. And so I don't think you could see it on there, but yeah, so that's that. That's for this Sunday. And then next Sunday, the 20th, June 20th, there's gonna be a march in Long Beach. Let me try and get the information for that, for the Long Beach march. Shoot.
I think the Long Beach March, I think that one, and the only reason I'm saying it is because we got our motherfucking black brothers out there.
I think that one's
It's gonna be lit. That one's gonna be lit. I'm for sure going to that one, just because the homie Blue and shit was out there. So
and
you know what I mean?
This information is for from Raza TV, Raza_TV_LA. This is where he's the one who gave me the flyer. It's Close the Camps protest on Saturday. This is next Saturday, June 20th in Long Beach. And so they're going to be protesting in front of the World Trade Center on Ocean Boulevard. Again, that's Saturday, June 20th. And there's the flyer for that. Oh, it's backwards, but yeah, Raza TV LA. June 20th in Long Beach on Saturday. And do you have any other things that are going on that you could tell people that they can get involved with?
I don't have anything you guys can get involved with, but I want to bring up an organization that I believe is important, and I think that you guys got to be educated on. And this is what we do our podcast about, right? Like education and bringing awareness and things like that, right? There's this organization that's called ALEC. And ALEC is what? Remember the ALEC thing?
Yeah, I'm like, you're the one who's bringing it
Yeah,
up.
okay.
I wasn't prepared to talk about Alec. Sorry.
And this is why I'm bringing it up. I have it right here, don't trip. Because she texted to me. I have it right. ALEC is an organization that pretty much it's called an American Legislative Exchange Council. And what they do is they help out the Correction Corporation of America, right? So this is all for like the prisons and the correctional and things like that, you know. So this organization called ALEC, ALE as in Edward, C as in cat. They provide and give, like, I would say, I don't know, I don't want to say hints or ideas. It's really pretty much as ideas. Ideas. For example, like, there was this I don't know. Is it like a, yeah. It was pretty much a fucking a law. They give examples of what laws should or shouldn't be, or how they should treat shit, or how they should deal with certain individuals depending on what their crimes are and shit like that, right? So they throw out ideas.
So like they what they call themselves is innovators for and they lobby for different legislation, right?
Yes.
And so the legislation that usually they lobby for is directly involved with the correctional facilities. Okay, so they'll lobby, and there's different companies that are members of this association. So it's like a membership type thing, right? So like Walmart was at one point a member of this association. Victoria's Secret, there's a big corporations, Kohl's, big corporations that are members of this organization, ALEC. Of this organization, ALEC. That they go on, and then what they do is Alex says, okay, we're proposing this legislation, right? So let's say that we're going to do the 3 strikes law. That's I think that was one of their proposals for legislation. We do a 3 strikes law, right? They proposed it, but when we need money to put it up to the Senate, to send it up to the Senate so that people are like behind it, right? So then the members of the organization, Victoria's Secret, Walmart, Kohl's, all these, they put in money, and then they give it to one of the representatives.
McDonald's, KFC,
they give it to one of the representatives to go propose as a bill for legislation within the House of Representatives when they're, up for legislation propositions or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, what your point of the organization?
So the point is, this organization, right, throws out these ideas and these opinions on what
they call themselves innovators for legislation,
and and certain, I guess, politicians decide to be like, all right, well, you know what? I like what that fool's saying. I like what Kohl's. I like what the CEO of Kohl's.
Not Kohl's. ALEC. They don't say Kohl's. They don't say.
Right, you're right.
It's ALEC. I like what ALEC is proposing.
Yeah.
Because ALEC proposes things for these big corporations, right?
So I like what ALEC says. I like what they say about this. So I'm gonna go as an important person. And go pitch it to
the House,
Congress. Mm-hmm. The House of Representatives. Then that goes up and it's presented to everybody, right? Oh, what do you guys think? And for all you guys that think that voting don't count, what do you think happens? Let's take a vote. Who thinks that?
I mean, if voting counts in the House and that's how they get away with stuff, what makes you think that your vote as a people's don't matter?
Yeah,
that's how they do.
Happens.
I mean, in companies and board meetings, and it's a vote. You know what I'm saying? It's always a vote. So why would you think that voting doesn't matter if these big people, companies, corporations, that's how they do it, by voting. Vote. They have a board of directors. They have that vote. Right? Nothing is done without a vote. So I don't understand why people are like, oh, my vote doesn't count. Yeah, I think it's an fucking excuse, and it's a sorry-ass excuse to be fucking lazy. That's what it is.
I agree with her. I fucking agree with her to the fullest, because this is what
then
it
you
is.
don't have to research.
Not only do
then
you
don't-
not only have to research, but you don't gotta teach nobody shit.
Yeah.
And when these kids, the younger kids, they have questions, right? You have a kid, right? When you're raising your kid, and he's like, what is, like, he's telling you, what the fuck is this? You gotta explain to him, right? You gotta teach him. So it's like, so back to the, like, subject, you know what I mean? So Alec, you know, and I don't want to go too much on this. Mm-hmm. So Alec does this, and they're like, poo, 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 poo. Alec, A-L-E-C. Because I'm like, oh, Alec. Okay. So, Alec again. And remember what it fucking means. Because some of you guys are going to be like, what does that mean? American Legislative Exchange Council.
So it's important, like, for us to see who's involved in this, Alec. Make sure that we don't support or promote, I guess. Yeah. But support, and by supporting I mean by shopping there. And I know it gets hard. We were talking about this in the last episode where I was like, where I'm thinking, like, I don't even want to go to Target or anything like that to shop for my deodorant and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But go ahead and shop in your country. Like, go ahead and freaking, or little mom and pop shops. I was like, oh, well, but I'm going to go to Tijuana and be like, to go visit my tío and be like, look, these are things I want. And every month just send me shit. Send me a package, you know, a care package and shit. No, for real. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so do the research and see if this is something that's really interesting to you, and it's something that you believe that could make a difference, which we believe it could. Then go and do the research and see who's affiliated, who's connected with Alec, and then start just not supporting. By not supporting, we mean not purchasing, not giving any buying power. I'm sorry, I want to put this in. I just found out that Home Depot just donated at least $1 million to the Trump campaign, and Lowe's donated to something that better suits us. I forgot what it is, but so don't go shopping at Home Depot anymore. They're completely Trump supporters, and they funded over $1 million to his campaign. So these are the things that we need to be informed of, right? Like, who's part of what campaign, who's funding what. Don't let them, and there's ways to research this. Google.
You know, I'm gonna get at you. Ancient Face, he works at Home Depot.
Oh, I'm like, what? I don't know what he's saying.
He like promotes them because he's a dude. He's a cool dude. Cool as fuck.
Shout out to Ancient Face.
You know what I'm saying?
He's been doing a lot of work for La Raza too.
Hey, remember that shit. So back to the whole thing, like how she's saying, and you know, my bad, you know, it's like really just fucking like educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't even educate no one else. Educate yourself on shit that's going on, because believe me, as much as she might be like, I like, and I'm gonna be for us, I like Adidas, I like Nike. We're gonna push for different shit. You know what I'm saying? She tells my kids all the time, these Adidas, and I'm like, oh, my Nikes.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
Same shit. Mm-hmm. It happens in real
people
life.
People are gonna push for with things that they like, that they're interested. So it's important for you not to be like a sheep and be like, well, I like him, he's cool, so I'm just gonna like what he likes.
Correct way of saying sheep. I just want to say that.
So don't be like that, like, oh, freaking, oh, I like him and I think he's cool, so I'm just gonna go along with his ideas. Or, you know what, oh, Erica seems smart, and so I'm just gonna go and follow whatever she has to say or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Do your research on everything, because what might be beneficial to me might not be beneficial to you and your family and your way of life. So what I might be voting for, it might not be the best thing for you. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So do your research for everything.
And that's called transparency.
Reach out, like, to different people. You know, make sure who you surround yourself with, that they're like well informed and things like that. So that you're well informed and that you're not passing on wrong information too and stuff like that.
And we're not perfect. You know what I'm
No.
saying?
And
So
please
there's
do
nothing-
reach out and correct
Yeah.
us. If we ever provided any wrong information on anything, please do reach out and correct
Yeah,
us and
be
be
like,
like, Erica, that was stupid. That's fucked up that you said that or
That
whatever
was
because that
fucking
wasn't
retarded.
true. Yeah. Any other
You know what I mean?
information
I
that
don't
you want
like-
us to share
Hey,
with the
school me.
viewers?
School me. Like, I'm down with that.
Me
School
too.
You know what I'm saying? Teach me some shit. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. No one's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm almost perfect, but I'm not. So, yeah.
but, you know what I mean? Like, so I just wanted to bring up that whole Alec thing, and my bad that I took a little too much of your time, you know what I mean? Over
Yeah.
the hour.
Sorry we went a
But
little bit
I
over
just
the
really,
hour.
I really think Alec was an important thing, you know what I mean, for me to talk about. Fuck them.
I think we're gonna
Fuck their
do
organization.
another episode on just the prison system because there's so much with the prison system and prison reform is another issue. So this is what
And
we're talking
get on
about.
Kim about this bitch shit.
Prison reform is a different issue. We're talking about police brutality and then the ICE houses, the ICE detention centers, ICE houses. Oh, comedian. The detention centers. And so I'm like,
No, but
prison reform is
Yeah.
a whole different thing. It's like a whole another episode.
It is
but
a
it goes,
whole-
but it
but-
goes hand in hand with what we're talking about. That also does need reform with this whole justice system and police brutality and the detention center. So I do understand that it goes hand in hand.
yeah, no, it
But
does.
yeah,
So, you know
we
what I mean?
should give it a whole episode though. But
And we will.
yeah. So thanks
With that
again. I
said-
know we gave you guys a lot of information, and I know we did a couple of rants, and we kind of do that here and there. But thank you guys for tuning in. Again, we're gonna keep posted. We're gonna keep on with what's going on in the world, and decide from there what we're gonna be doing for next week for our
New episode.
yeah. But we'll keep you posted, and thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thank you guys.
Go
always.
ahead and follow us on TwoBeansIAPod, IG TWOBANSIANAPOD_1, or on Facebook at Downer Erica Peens. He drank a little bit too much. And on YouTube at Downer and Erica. And anything else you want to say? Thank you, Primo, for always tuning in. Besos, saludos to everybody out there. Dale besitos y abrazos a los babies.
What up, Neto? This was tripping. Nah. But, hey, other than that, for real, straight up shit, like, just you know how people say woke? I don't want to say woke too much, you know what I mean? I just want to be like, just be open-minded. Because there's so much shit going on in this world that you have no clue. I don't have any clue. Like, it's next thing you know, it's like, oh, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, with all that said and done, we just got to think about and realize that there's other shit going on other than just two beans in a pod. You know what I'm saying? And we need to fucking get all this information and be able to push the shit out to you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so we encourage you guys to provide us with information too if you guys want us to share some information. There's stuff that that you think that we should share. Please go ahead and share it with us.
Mi vida, what up, fool? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like all of it. No matter what it is or what we're doing, if you have information that you think is important, DM us. Send it to us. Mm-hmm. We're glad to fucking talk about it. Because I don't know everything. She don't know everything. Nobody knows.
And even if I don't agree with it, don't agree with it, I'll share it. And then we could discuss it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and we'll go ahead and share it and discuss
all the time.
it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So again,
therefore,
thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
We're the shit.
We're the shit, guys. This guy.
Yeah, we're the shit.
All right.
So, thank you for tuning in with us.
Thanks, IG.
We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Negro, you know what up. Mi vida, you know what up, fool. Hey. Gracias.
Good night, primo.
Peace.
Yeah.